I was 17 or 18, to be honest. I don't exactly remember, but 17 or 18, I was a senior in high school, and I was going to be drafted whenever I graduated. So I chose to join the service while I was in 17, 18. I had my basic training in Camp Livingston, Louisiana. And then I was transferred to Europe in Frankfurt, Germany, at the European headquarters in Frankfurt, Germany. Most of my fellow soldiers were drafted. I wasn't. I had enrolled. Actually, I enrolled in the Army Air Force, but at the time I enlisted, the enlistments in the Army Air Corps was closed at the time, so they said they would send me to Army school in Dahlonega, Georgia for 3 months. And at the end of that 3 months, if the enlistments opened up, I would be in the Air Force as I had enlisted. If it didn't open up, I would go into the infantry. It did not open up, so I reported for infantry training to Camp Livingston, Louisiana. That was in 1945. As indicated there, in Europe, I was assigned to the Army European headquarters, and I chauffeured for a brigadier general the year that I was there, and we done lots of traveling. Actually, we traveled on, visited 7 different countries during the year that I was there. So that was certainly a memorable experience. Overall, I was impressed with General Patton's leadership. But also, in that regard, of course, he was killed in an automobile wreck going on a hunting trip right after I got into, was transferred to Frankfurt, Germany. So I attended his funeral. In my case, I was just there. Of course, there was lots of other generals and officers were there. There wasn't many listed men there, but it was mostly officers, fellow officers that worked in the European headquarters there in Frankfurt. So I had, with the general, I had the privilege of attending the Nuremberg trials on 2 occasions. They were trying the German generals and others that had committed atrocities through the war. To begin with, we had to listen through an interpreter as they quizzed the war generals that were being tried. The war had ended, but transportation was still difficult to get around because of the bombing out. So they loaded us on railroad cars, box cars called 40 and 8. And we spent 2 weeks on the box cars moving us into Germany for the distribution center. And then from the distribution center, I was sent to Frankfurt, Germany, and that's where I spent my year chauffeuring for a general. So it's been a memorable experience.